Your awakening has begun, and this is not something small, not something accidental, not something that simply happened because you clicked on a video or opened a message. Awakening is a phenomenon that arrives at the precise moment when your inner world becomes louder than your outer world. It arrives at the moment when your spirit refuses to live the same day again, when your soul becomes heavier than your excuses, when your intuition begins to whisper truths you can no longer ignore. There comes a time in every human life when the universe, God, creation, whatever name you choose, steps forward and gently taps you on the shoulder. And that tap is not punishment, not pressure, not a sign of chaos. It is a sign that you have outgrown who you used to be. Awakening does not begin when life becomes easier. Awakening begins when life becomes clearer, and clarity is rarely comfortable. It exposes every habit that weakens you. It reveals every lie you told yourself. It makes you aware of every moment you hesitated, procrastinated, and feared your own potential. But the reason God says, "Congratulations," today is because most people run away from this clarity. Most people choose to stay asleep even when their soul is shaking inside their body. You did not. You opened your eyes. You allowed truth to confront you. You allowed honesty to become your mirror. That is awakening. Awakening is not becoming someone new. It is remembering who you always were beneath all the noise, beneath all the doubts, beneath all the conditioning placed on you by people who never understood your spirit. When you awaken, you do not suddenly become fearless, but you become aware that fear was never stronger than you. When you awaken, you do not become perfect, but you become aware of the parts of you that are ready to grow. When you awaken, you do not escape challenges, but you finally understand that challenges are not signs of punishment, they are signs of preparation. And this is why today, 11th December, is not ordinary, because something inside you clicked. Something shifted, something aligned. Awakening does not come with fireworks, it comes with responsibility. It comes with the realization that your life is no longer allowed to remain small. When God decides it is time for you to awaken, He does not ask for your permission. He shakes your comfort, He disrupts your patterns. He removes people who no longer belong in your destiny, and He pushes you toward places you would have never entered on your own. And you begin to feel something inside you rising, something ancient, something powerful, something true. That rising is the beginning of your evolution. The reason God says, "Congratulations," is because very few people reach the point of inner maturity where they can recognize that awakening is a blessing, not a burden. Many people say they want growth, but they are not ready to let go of what keeps them small. Many people say they want change, but they refuse to release the habits that pull them backward. Many people pray for a new life while holding tight to the exact things that prevent a new life from coming. You, however, have reached the moment of recognition, the moment where you understand that your life only changes when you change. And that is the start of awakening. Awakening means you stop running from yourself. Awakening means you stop blaming your environment, fate, luck, and other people for the condition of your life. Awakening means you finally turn inward and understand that your mind is the architect of your tomorrow. It means you finally see that everything you externalized, your frustration, your sadness, your impatience, was always pointing you towards something internal that needed attention. You are no longer numb. You are no longer blind to your own patterns. You are no longer sleeping through your potential. This is why today matters. This is why this message reached you. God wakes you up not because you are behind, but because you are ready. Ready to step into a version of yourself that has been waiting for you for years. Ready to leave behind the cycles that have repeated again and again because your awareness was not yet sharp enough to break them. Ready to stop shrinking yourself to fit into places that were never designed for the future you. Awareness is the first doorway to transformation. Before change appears on the outside, something must ignite on the inside. And that ignition is happening right now. You are realizing that the life you desire is not out of reach. It is simply out of alignment with your current habits, thoughts, and beliefs. Awakening forces you to face a truth that many people avoid. Your current reality is a reflection of your previous decisions. But the beauty is that your future reality will be a reflection of the decisions you begin making today. Awakening is an invitation, not an obligation. It is an opening, not a push. It is God saying, you are ready to see clearly now. What will you do with the vision I have given you? When you awaken, you begin to feel the weight of your potential. And that weight is not heavy, it is guiding. It pulls you toward better choices. It pulls you toward discipline. It pulls you toward consistency. It pulls you away from the distractions that once controlled you. You begin to understand that your mind is not a cage, it is a tool, and you are now learning to use it. You begin to understand that your emotions are not enemies, they are indicators. They show you what needs healing, what needs release, what needs transformation. You begin to understand that silence is not emptiness, it is clarity. In silence, you hear what the world tries to drown out your truth. Awakening is the moment you stop negotiating with fear. It is the moment you stop delaying your growth. It is the moment you stop questioning your worth. It is the moment you stop dimming your light so others feel comfortable. It is the moment you stop apologizing for wanting more out of life. It is the moment you stop waiting for someone to save you and realize a higher power already gave you everything you need to save yourself. This is why God says congratulations today. Not because you reached the finish line, but because you finally stepped onto the path. You finally recognized that your life is made of choices, and today you are choosing awareness over autopilot. Most people wake up physically every morning, but never wake up mentally or spiritually. They breathe, but they do not live. They work, but they do not grow. They function, but they do not evolve. You have chosen differently. And that choice is the beginning of every breakthrough that will come next. Awakening is not a moment. It is a new way of living. It is a commitment to observing yourself, understanding yourself, improving yourself. It is a promise you make to your own soul. I will no longer betray who I am becoming just to protect who I used to be. And when you make that promise, the universe begins to move. Doors open. Opportunities appear. People enter your life who match your energy rather than drain it. Your intuition strengthens. Your decisions become cleaner. Your path becomes clearer. And even though challenges remain, you now face them with presence rather than panic. Because awakening does not remove difficulty, it removes weakness. It makes you strong enough to face what comes. It makes you wise enough to learn from what comes. It makes you disciplined enough to rise after what comes. Today marks the beginning of the version of you who does not run away anymore. The version of you who stands firm, even when uncertain. The version of you who grows even when uncomfortable. The version of you who trusts even when the outcome is unseen. Awakening is remembering that every breath you take is evidence that purpose still exists within you. It is remembering that you were not created to be average, fearful, or doubtful. You were created with intention. You were created with precision. You were created with capacity. But for years, you lived below that capacity because you forgot the truth of your own spirit. Today you remember. Today you return to yourself. Today you awaken. And once a person awakens, they cannot go back to sleep, not mentally, not spiritually, not emotionally. Because now you see who you can become, and that vision cannot be unseen. You cannot go back to low standards. You cannot go back to small thinking. You cannot go back to unhealthy patterns. You cannot go back to pretending you are powerless. You cannot go back to a life where you settle for less than what your soul is capable of. Awakening is irreversible, and that is the miracle of today. You were guided here for a reason. not by chance but by timing, because the season of your awakening has begun, and the world will feel the impact of the person you are becoming. Congratulations! Your real life starts now. Something you prayed for is already moving toward you. And this truth is far more powerful than most people ever realize. When you pray, you think you are asking for something outside yourself, but in reality, prayer is a signal. Prayer is a frequency. Prayer is a declaration of readiness. Every time you prayed from a sincere heart, not from fear, not from desperation, but from genuine trust, you were sending a message to the universe that you were preparing yourself for a higher state of being. But here is the mysterious part. Your prayer is answered the moment it is heard, not the moment it arrives in your hands. When God responds, He responds instantly. What takes time is not His delivery. What takes time is your alignment. You think you are waiting for the blessing, but most of the time, the blessing is waiting for you to grow, waiting for you to mature, waiting for you to release the things that block it, waiting for you to become the version of yourself who can handle what you asked for without breaking under its weight. The universe does not delay because it is confused. It delays because it is precise. There is a version of you that is ready to receive the blessing, and there is a version of you that would ruin it. God will never send something into your life that your current habits cannot protect. And so, the blessing begins moving the moment you pray, but it does not reach you until you elevate to the frequency of responsibility it requires. This is why you feel a shift today. This is why 11th and December carries weight. Something you asked for long ago, something that once felt impossible, distant, unreachable, has finally started closing the distance between where it is and where you are. Your energy has shifted. Your decisions have sharpened. Your discipline has increased. Your heart has healed enough to finally hold what you once dropped. And the moment your frequency rose, your blessing recognized you. The universe does not deliver by time, it delivers by alignment. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. When the heart is prepared, the answer unfolds. When the mind is steady, the path becomes clear. This is why today matters. The blessing is not delayed, it is arriving on divine timing. Think of the seed planted deep in the earth. You water it, you nurture it, you protect it. But for a long time, nothing visible happens. You wonder if it is even alive. You wonder if your effort was pointless. But underground, quietly, invisibly, in the darkness where no one can see, that seed is cracking open. It is growing roots. It is preparing its foundation. Because if it rises too early, before its roots are deep enough, the smallest wind will destroy it. Your blessings work the same way. What seems like silence is actually construction. What seems like delay is actually preparation. What seems like emptiness is actually deep-rooted growth. Many times, the universe is working for you in ways you cannot see and cannot measure. Your job is not to question the process. Your job is to remain aligned with it. The blessing you prayed for did not ignore you. It began taking form the moment your intention was pure. But you must understand something profound: blessings do not enter chaotic spaces. If your mind is chaotic, they wait. If your emotions are unstable, they wait. If your environment is filled with people who do not match your destiny, they wait. If your habits contradict the level you are asking for, they wait. And sometimes, what you call delay is simply God clearing the path so the blessing does not get contaminated when it arrives. Sometimes He removes people. Sometimes He shakes your routine. Sometimes He destroys your comfort zone. Sometimes He makes you experience silence. Not because you are forgotten, but because you are being recalibrated. Because the version of you who prayed for the blessing was not strong enough to maintain it. You asked for abundance, but your mindset was still rooted in scarcity. You asked for love, but your heart was still wounded from old betrayals. You asked for opportunity, but your discipline was inconsistent. You asked for elevation, but your circle was pulling you downward. So the blessing waited. But today something changed. You crossed an invisible threshold within yourself. You became ready in a way you were not ready before. You reached a level of awareness, a level of maturity, a level of inner stability that finally matches what you have been asking for. This is why your blessing has started moving toward you with speed. Because you grew into the person who can hold it. The universe is not punishing you when it delays, it is protecting what you prayed for. Imagine giving a sharp sword to a child. The child will only hurt themselves. But place the same sword into the hands of a trained warrior, and it becomes a tool of mastery. This is how blessings work. When you are unprepared, they harm you. When you are prepared, they transform you. You once asked for things you were not ready to receive. You prayed from a place of fear, from a place of lack, from a place of impatience. But now you are praying differently. Now your faith is stronger. Now your energy is cleaner. Now your intentions are clearer. And so, the universe responds differently. God gives according to readiness, not pressure. He gives according to strength, not stress. He gives according to alignment, not desperation. And you have finally aligned. Do you know how rare that is? Most people pray for years with no change because their habits contradict their prayers. They ask for peace but choose chaos. They ask for success but sleep on their purpose. They ask for elevation but surround themselves with people committed to smallness. They ask for miracles but doubt every possibility. You, however, have begun to correct these contradictions. You are choosing differently, walking differently, thinking differently. And this shift has unlocked a new level of access. What you prayed for is no longer a distant hope. It is on its way. And the proof is in your intuition. You can feel something approaching, even if you cannot name it yet. Your spirit is sensing movement. Your heart is sensing alignment. Your mind is sensing readiness. That feeling is not imagination. It is preparation. It is the spiritual signal that the unseen is becoming seen. But understand this, blessings do not always arrive in the form you expect. Sometimes God answers your prayer by removing what blocks it. Sometimes He answers by redirecting your path. Sometimes He answers by ending things that were never meant to carry you into your next season. Sometimes He answers by teaching you patience. Sometimes He answers by strengthening your discipline. Sometimes He answers by testing your humility. Sometimes He answers by giving you exactly what you asked for, but in a way that requires you to rise higher to receive it. The blessing may come through an opportunity, or through a person, or through a change within you that alters the entire trajectory of your destiny. But however it comes, it is coming. You prayed sincerely, and sincere prayer never returns empty. It may return slowly, but never empty. The greatest evidence of your blessing approaching is the inner shift you feel today. Something inside you is calmer. Something is more confident. Something is more awake. Something is more trusting. These inner changes are the indicators that your external world is preparing to shift. When the blessing arrives, your life will not change gradually, it will change suddenly. One opportunity, one conversation, one decision, one moment of alignment. That is often all it takes to transform an entire life. And the universe is setting that moment in motion for you right now. Do not let impatience make you think nothing is happening. Do not let your current environment convince you that your destiny is still far away. Do not let fear make you doubt the timing of what you asked for. The blessing is already coming. Its movement is subtle but powerful. Like wind, you cannot see it, but you can feel it. And if you feel it today, then congratulations, because the prayer you made months or even years ago is finally breaking through into your physical reality. You are entering the phase where God begins revealing what He has been constructing for you behind the scenes. And once blessings begin to move, they do not stop. Once the path opens, it does not close. Once alignment begins, it only grows stronger. You will look back soon and realize that every delay was preparation, every hardship was training, every disappointment was protection, and every waiting season was shaping the exact person who could receive what is now coming. Something you prayed for is not just coming your way, it is approaching with divine precision. And the most powerful part is this: nothing and no one can block what was meant for you. Not timing, not people, not circumstances, not fear, not mistakes, not the past. What is aligned for you will arrive for you. What is written for you will find you. What is meant for you cannot be taken from you. And when it arrives, you will understand why it took this long, why it needed this process, and why God waited until you became the version of yourself you are today. Your prayer has been heard. Your blessing is in motion. Your season is shifting, and your life is about to enter a chapter you once only dreamed of. Congratulations. Something you prayed for is already on its way. Your old life is ending, and you must let it end. This is one of the hardest truths for the human heart to accept because we are creatures of habit. We hold on even when our hands are bleeding. We cling to familiarity even when it suffocates us. We try to repair what God already dismantled, as if we can convince destiny to keep us in places that no longer match our growth. But every season has a purpose, and every purpose has an expiration date. The life you lived up until now was necessary. It shaped you, tested you, strengthened you, humbled you, taught you, broke you, rebuilt you. But it was never meant to be permanent. There comes a moment in every person's journey when the universe begins closing doors that you would have kept open forever. Not to hurt you, but to save you from repeating the same version of yourself for the rest of your life. When God wants to elevate you, He first removes what cannot go with you. That is where you are today. You stand at the edge of an ending, not because you failed, but because you evolved. And evolution naturally destroys anything that refuses to grow with you. The ending of your old life is not punishment, it is growth's final requirement. It is the shedding of old skin. It is the emptying of a cup that must be refilled. It is the dismantling of the outdated version of you that was built on survival, fear, insecurity, and self-doubt. You cannot carry those things into the next version of yourself. You prayed for elevation, but elevation requires release. You prayed for transformation, but transformation requires separation. You prayed for clarity, but clarity requires losing people and patterns that blur your vision. So when things fall apart, understand this: they are not falling apart. They are falling into alignment. The life you are leaving behind was built on who you used to be, not who you are becoming. And that is the difference. The old you was comfortable in cycles that now feel heavy. The old you accepted behavior that now feels disrespectful. The old you tolerated environments that now feel small. The old you entertained habits that now feel destructive. That is the sign of awakening. When the life you used to accept suddenly becomes unbearable, you are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The human mind fears endings because it associates them with loss. But the universe sees endings as gateways. You are not losing your old life. You are outgrowing it. You are not being abandoned by people. You are being aligned with new energy. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Look around your life right now. The conversations you used to enjoy feel empty. The people you used to chase no longer matter. The places you used to escape to no longer bring comfort. The habits you used to depend on no longer satisfy you. This is not boredom. This is not confusion. This is transformation. When the soul begins to rise, the old world becomes too tight to live in. Imagine a bird outgrowing its nest. At first, the nest feels safe. Then it feels cramped. Then it feels suffocating. And finally, the bird understands that staying in the nest will kill its potential. This is where you are. You have outgrown the nest of your old identity. You can pretend to stay small, but your spirit will not allow you to. You can pretend things are fine, But your intuition will not accept that lie. You can pretend the past still fits you, but your energy knows the truth. The ending is here, and resisting it only creates suffering. Letting go is not weakness. Letting go is wisdom. It is the recognition that what once served you now slows you down. And when God ends a season in your life, He does it cleanly. Suddenly conversations stop flowing. Suddenly people distance themselves. Suddenly opportunities collapse. Suddenly promises break. It feels harsh, but it is divine protection. Because if you kept walking with the people and patterns from your old life, you would never reach the future that belongs to you. Some people were part of your story, but not part of your destiny. Some habits helped you survive, but they will not help you succeed. Some environments kept you comfortable, but they will not help you grow. You are not supposed to stay where you were. You are supposed to evolve beyond it. But evolution requires sacrifice. It requires letting go of everything that keeps you tied to the ground when your spirit is meant to fly. You must release the friendships that drain you. You must release the relationships that confuse you. You must release the memories that haunt you. You must release the pain that defines you. You must release the guilt that cripples you. You must release the fear that restricts you. And perhaps most importantly, you must release the outdated version of yourself that you built from trauma, expectations, and survival. Growth demands honesty. And honesty is uncomfortable. It forces you to admit that you stayed in places too long. It forces you to admit that you accepted less than you deserved. It forces you to admit that some people were not meant to stay in your life forever. It forces you to admit that your own habits held you back more than any external enemy. And it forces you to admit that your past cannot be your future. When your old life ends, there is a moment of emptiness. A moment where you feel suspended between what was and what will be. And in that moment, fear tries to convince you to go back. But listen carefully, going back would kill your spirit. Going back would shrink your purpose. Going back would dishonor your growth. The discomfort you feel right now is not a sign to return, it is a sign to rise. You are shedding layers that once protected you. You are letting go of illusions that once comforted you. You are breaking cycles that once controlled you. Every spiritual rebirth requires a spiritual death. The death of old beliefs, the death of old behaviors, the death of old attachments, the death of old identities. You cannot carry old beliefs into a new life. You cannot carry old energy into a new chapter. You cannot carry old wounds into a new season. The door of your old life is closing because the new one requires your full presence. And understand this clearly, you are not losing anything that was meant to stay. What leaves your life was never truly yours. What remains with you through your growth is part of your destiny. Your old life is ending because it has served its purpose. Every heartbreak taught you resilience. Every disappointment taught you patience. Every betrayal taught you discernment. Every mistake taught you wisdom. Every loss taught you gratitude. Every silence taught you self-reliance. You are not stepping into your new life empty. You are stepping into it equipped. Life does not take you backward. Life takes you deeper. The ending of your old life is the beginning of your true life. You must stop trying to reopen doors that God has sealed. You must stop watering dead connections. You must stop healing people who refuse to grow. You must stop waiting for others to understand your evolution. Not everyone deserves access to your next chapter. Not everyone deserves to walk with you into the future. You are not the same person you were last year. You are not the person who tolerated disrespect. You are not the person who ignored red flags. You are not the person who begged for love. You are not the person who apologized for your existence. You are not the person who betrayed your intuition to please others. That version of you no longer exists. And the people who only knew the old you will not understand the new you. That is okay. They were characters in a chapter that has now ended. You do not need to explain your growth. You do not need to justify your change. You do not need permission to become better. What you need is courage, courage to detach, courage to trust, courage to walk into the unknown, courage to believe that God does not end something without preparing something greater. When your old life ends, the empty space it leaves is not a void, it is a container waiting to be filled with new opportunities, new people, new energy, new love, new discipline, new purpose, new strength. But the container cannot fill until you release what once occupied it. You cannot receive with clenched fists. You cannot rise while holding onto anchors. You cannot transform while defending your comfort zone. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It means freeing your heart from the weight of what no longer belongs in your hands. Your future self is calling you. The version of you with clarity, peace, discipline, confidence, purpose, strength. They are waiting on the other side of your willingness to end what must end. You owe it to yourself to step forward. You owe it to yourself to evolve. You owe it to yourself to choose growth over familiarity. The universe honors those who release what is dying to make space for what is being born. God is not asking you to fight the ending. He is asking you to trust the transition. Because what ends today creates the foundation for what begins tomorrow. Let the old life die. Let the old version of you dissolve. Let the old patterns collapse. Let the old cycles break. Let the old wounds close. The ending is not the end. It is the doorway. And on the other side of this doorway is the life you have been praying for, but could not step into until now. Congratulations. You are finally ready to let go of what was and step into what will be. When you see a sign that aligns so precisely with the moment you are living, something inside you shifts. It may be subtle at first. A small pause, a breath you didn't know you were holding, an awareness that rises like the first light of morning. But that is how transformation always begins. Not with noise, not with force, not with dramatic change, but with a moment of recognition. The moment you saw this message, something awakened in you, and that awakening is not accidental. It is a signal from life itself that the path ahead is opening, inviting you to step forward, inviting you to listen more deeply than ever before. When the divine places a sign in front of you, it is never random. It is always intentional, always timed, always woven into the exact thread of your life that needed a shift. Today, the simple act of noticing marks the beginning of a new chapter in your journey. Most people move through their days, missing the signals that are placed gently, patiently, quietly in front of them. They overlook small moments. They dismiss intuitive nudges. They ignore the soft whisper that something in their life is calling to be seen. But the fact that you are here, reading this in this specific moment, means you did not overlook it. You responded. And response is the seed of transformation. There is a saying in ancient wisdom, when the student is ready, the path appears. But readiness is not created by force. It is born from awareness. You have stepped into that readiness, and the appearance of this message in your life is a reflection of that. If you look back at your journey, you may notice something. Every important change in your life began with a moment like this. A realization, a thought you could not ignore, a feeling that something needed to shift, a sense that your life was waiting for you to rise just a little higher. You may have ignored these moments before, delaying your own progress, waiting for confidence, waiting for the perfect time, waiting for assurance that you were making the right move. But today, something is different. Today, you recognize the sign immediately. You didn't look away. You didn't minimize it. You didn't tell yourself it didn't matter. You paid attention. And paying attention means you are ready for the next step. Shi Heng Yi often teaches that the greatest breakthroughs begin internally, long before anything changes on the outside. The moment the mind opens, the world opens with it. The moment you begin to notice what others ignore, your path becomes different from theirs. Not because you are better, but because you are more awake. Awareness is like a lamp in a dark room. Once it is lit, you no longer stumble. You begin to see which direction leads forward and which direction leads back into the same old patterns you have been trying to escape. And today, by recognizing this sign, you have lit that lamp. Think about how many times in your life you felt lost, confused, or unsure, simply because you were moving without awareness. You were surviving instead of living. You were reacting instead of choosing. You were rushing instead of observing. But this moment calls you to slow down, to look inward, to notice what has been trying to reach you. Noticing is not something weak or passive. It is one of the most powerful abilities a human can develop. It is the gateway to wisdom, clarity, and discipline. When you notice the small details, you begin to see the truth hidden beneath the surface of your life. Right now, there are things in your life you have outgrown but haven't let go of yet. There are situations you tolerate that no longer align with who you are becoming. There are habits that keep you stuck but feel comfortable because they are familiar. And there are dreams inside you that are waiting quietly, patiently, for you to finally give them space. Seeing this message today brings all of that into your awareness. It shows you that the version of you who accepted smallness, who stayed silent, who settled for less than they deserved, is fading. A new version of you is entering, not loudly, not dramatically, but with the quiet strength that comes from clarity. Awareness opens your eyes, but it also opens your responsibility. Now that you see, you cannot pretend to be blind. Now that you feel the shift, you cannot return to the old patterns without discomfort. Life has a way of calling you forward, and once you answer that call, nothing feels the same. The situations you tolerated before begin to feel heavy. The people who drain you feel more obvious. The habits that waste your time feel more painful. This is not a punishment, it is an awakening. It is life showing you what must change in order for you to become who you were meant to be. There is a quiet intelligence within you. It guides you even when you don't recognize it. It pulls you towards certain messages, certain moments, certain insights at the exact time you need them. And today, that inner intelligence guided you here. You may not fully understand why yet. You may not see the full picture. But awareness rarely reveals everything at once. It reveals only what you are ready to handle. And today, you were ready to see this sign. That alone is enough. Think of how a seed grows. It does not sprout the moment it touches the soil. It rests, unseen, gathering strength beneath the surface, preparing for the moment it will break open. Awareness works the same way. Today is your sprouting moment. The message reached you not because you were weak, but because your strength is now deep enough to handle the truth it brings. You are ready to look at your life with honest eyes. You are ready to shift from passively enduring to actively shaping. You are ready to choose your path instead of allowing circumstances to choose it for you. Shi Heng Yi often says that you cannot transform your life unless you first transform your perspective. And perspective begins with noticing what you once ignored. You are being called to notice the lessons your challenges taught you. Notice the strength your suffering built. Notice the calm that has slowly replaced your fear. Notice the confidence that is trying to grow in you. Notice the opportunities that are quietly forming around you. This is not magic. This is awareness. Awareness makes anything possible because it turns the invisible into the visible. You may have believed for a long time that your life would change when your circumstances changed. When you had more resources, when you met the right people, when timing was perfect. But today, you are reminded that change begins long before any of that. It begins the moment you truly see. When the mind wakes up, the world follows. And today your mind is waking up. This moment is the beginning of your shift from autopilot to intention. You are no longer drifting. You are no longer waiting for external rescue. You are learning to guide your own inner ship. You are stepping into the role of the observer of your life rather than the victim of it. Observing gives you power. Power to choose differently. Power to let go of what does not serve you. Power to step into a future built with clarity rather than fear. Look at your life with fresh eyes. There are patterns repeating because you have not yet acknowledged the lesson they carry. There are cycles ending because you have finally recognized they no longer align with your growth. There are new paths opening because you are ready for more. And all of this starts with a simple truth. You noticed the sign. You didn't scroll past it. You didn't dismiss it. You allowed it to speak to you. And that willingness is the essence of awakening. Awareness does not change your life instantly, but it changes your direction. It changes the quality of your choices. It changes your relationship with yourself. It makes you more intentional, more present, more aligned. You begin to ask better questions. What am I carrying that no longer belongs to me? What am I holding onto out of fear, not love? Which parts of myself am I ready to meet? These questions guide you, and slowly, they change the way you live. The old version of you lived unconsciously. The new version of you lives deliberately. The old version reacted. The new version observes. The old version chased validation. The new version seeks understanding. The old version feared change. The new version recognizes that change is the only path to truth. And all of this began the moment your awareness lit up. The moment you saw this message. That is why this day matters. That is why this sign matters. Not because it brings miracles from the outside, but because it awakens miracles from the inside. Because the person who is aware is no longer powerless. Awareness is the first step. Action is the second. Discipline is the third. And transformation is the result of all three. Today is your awakening. You saw the sign. You recognized it. You let it in. And from this moment on, your path changes. Not by force, but by awareness, which is the most powerful force of all. There comes a time in every person's life when the battles they have carried inside finally begin to loosen their grip. Not because life suddenly becomes easier, but because the person facing the battle becomes stronger, wiser, and more aware of their own ability to endure. When you see a sign on this day telling you that your inner fight is nearing its end, it is not a promise of escape, it is a recognition of growth. For a long time, you have been carrying weight that others could not see. You have faced confusion, uncertainty, emotional heaviness, and moments where even the smallest tasks felt large. But through all of it, you continued. Not because you always felt strong, but because something inside you refused to give up on yourself. This message reaching you today is not random. It is a reflection of the stage you have reached in your internal journey. A stage where the storm is losing its power over you. Not because it has stopped, but because you are no longer the same person who entered it. The mind has a way of magnifying struggles when you are in the middle of them. Every day feels heavier, every challenge feels sharper, and every setback seems to break something inside you. But what you rarely notice in the moment is that each day you survive changes you. Each day teaches you something. Each day builds a new layer of resilience, even if you do not recognize it. Strength is not something that appears suddenly. It is formed slowly, through repetition, through endurance, through the quiet choice to continue even when you feel tired. And now you stand at a point where that accumulated strength is beginning to show itself. Shi Heng Yi often teaches that suffering is not an endpoint, but a sharpening. It removes illusions. It reveals what is real. It strips away what is false. When you go through a difficult season, you come out with clearer eyes. You learn to recognize what truly matters. You learn to see who is sincere and who is not. You learn to distinguish between noise and guidance. The battle you faced was not meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you. But preparation is rarely comfortable. It demands that you see parts of yourself you once avoided, face patterns you once ignored, and confront truths you once pushed aside. Yet through that confrontation, something powerful begins to happen. Your inner landscape shifts. The heaviness you felt for so long was not pointless. It taught you how to move even when you had no clarity. It taught you how to stand even when your confidence trembled. It taught you how to breathe through moments that tried to overwhelm your spirit. And now, that heaviness is beginning to lift because you have mastered lessons that once felt too heavy to carry. When your internal battles begin to end, it is not because life stops challenging you. It is because you now stand differently. You now think differently. You now recognize your own ability to handle what once felt impossible. Take a moment and look back at the person you were before this season began. You might notice that you were more easily shaken, more easily discouraged, more easily confused. At that time, even small problems felt large because your internal foundation was not as strong as it is now. But through every challenge, through every difficult day, through every emotional struggle, your foundation changed. You rebuilt yourself piece by piece, choice by choice, moment by moment. And the version of you standing here today is not the version who entered the battle. You have grown in ways you may not have realized. You have learned to stay calm where you once reacted quickly. You have learned to observe where you once panicked. You have learned to slow down where you once rushed. You have learned to hold your energy instead of giving it away freely. These are signs of maturity, signs of wisdom, signs of inner mastery. This is why the battle is nearing its end, because it no longer has power over you. A battle only continues as long as you remain unchanged. But once you evolve, the struggle must shift as well. You are not repeating the same cycle anymore. You are not responding with the same habits. You are not allowing the same patterns to control you. That alone is victory. That alone is transformation. Sometimes the universe keeps placing the same challenge in front of you until you finally respond differently. Not because life wants to exhaust you, but because life wants to grow you. And once you grow, the challenge dissolves because its purpose has been fulfilled. The moment you felt tired but kept going was a turning point. The moment you chose patience over frustration was a turning point. The moment you chose silence instead of arguing was a turning point. The moment you decided to protect your peace was a turning point. And the moment you chose to keep faith despite delay was the biggest turning point of them all. Your endurance has not been ignored. The world may not have seen your strength, but life itself witnessed it. Every quiet moment you held yourself together. Every night you kept going despite exhaustion. Every day you showed up even when your heart felt heavy. These were victories. They counted. They shaped you. And now they are being acknowledged in the form of inner relief. You may begin to feel moments of calm returning. You may begin to feel clarity coming back. You may begin to feel your intuition sharpening again. These are signs that the internal storm is weakening. Shi Heng Yi often says that the battles you fight within yourself are the most important ones, because once they end, the world outside becomes easier to navigate. The world does not change, you change. Your mindset changes, your attitude changes, your energy changes, and when your inner world shifts, reality responds. A peaceful mind can solve problems that a chaotic mind cannot. A grounded mind can walk through challenges that a restless mind cannot. A disciplined mind can create a future that a distracted mind cannot. Today, you stand at the doorway of that discipline, that grounding, that peace. You have spent a long time feeling like you were carrying everything alone. You may have questioned why things were so heavy for you. You may have wondered why relief didn't come sooner. But the truth is that you were developing something essential: inner stability. Without stability, blessings cannot be sustained. Without strength, opportunities cannot be held. Without clarity, guidance cannot be heard. Everything you went through was shaping the person you needed to become in order to move forward with confidence rather than fear. Your inner battle is ending because you have gained mastery over your own emotions. Not perfect control, no one has perfect control, but improved awareness. And awareness is the beginning of all mastery. You can now recognize when your thoughts wander into negativity, when your energy drops, when your mind exaggerates situations, when your heart holds fear instead of wisdom. Recognition is power. You cannot change what you cannot see, but once you see it, you can choose differently, and you have been choosing differently. The storm felt endless because you assumed that the goal was to fight your way out of it. But the real purpose was to teach you how to stay centered in the middle of it. Now that you have learned to stay centered, the storm no longer needs to stay. The emotional weight begins to lighten. The confusion begins to clear. The uncertainty begins to fade. Your spirit begins to settle. You may notice that things that once triggered you no longer have the same power. Situations that once drained you now reveal their lessons more quickly. People who once influenced your emotions no longer control your peace. This is what it means for the battle to end. The world remains the same, but your inner relationship with the world changes completely. You move with more wisdom, more patience, more discipline, more self-respect. The ending of your internal struggle does not mean you will never face challenges again. It means you will face them with a different spirit. You will respond with clarity instead of confusion. You will move with intention instead of fear. You will speak with calm instead of emotional reaction. You will walk with confidence instead of doubt. You will make decisions from a place of inner strength rather than desperation. And this is what makes the difference. Not the absence of challenges, but the presence of inner mastery. Your life is shifting now. You can feel it. The heaviness that once held you down is loosening. The fear that once limited you is fading. The doubt that once clouded your mind is dissolving. Not because something external has changed, but because you have changed. You have outgrown the version of yourself who struggled. You are stepping into the version who overcomes. The battle is ending, not because it has been removed, but because you no longer identify with the weaker version of yourself who fought it. You have become someone new, someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more aligned, someone more grounded. And because of that, life is opening into a new chapter, one where peace begins to return, clarity begins to guide you, and the strength you built in silence becomes the foundation for everything ahead. There is a moment in every person's journey where life begins to shift, not because something external has arrived, but because the person themselves has grown enough to carry more than they once could. Many people pray for blessings, hoping for sudden change, rapid transformation, or immediate breakthroughs. But blessings without preparation become burdens. Opportunities without inner maturity become distractions. Elevation without discipline becomes chaos. And so, when this moment appears in your life, when a sign reaches you at exactly the right time, it is not simply a message of reward. It is a message of readiness. It is a sign that the inner work you have been doing silently, quietly, consistently is now forming the foundation for something greater than what you once believed you could handle. For a long time, you may have wondered why your blessings seemed delayed, why your prayers felt unanswered, or why progress in your life seemed slow. You may have compared yourself to others who appeared to move faster, succeed quicker, or receive more. You might have questioned your path, your timing, or even your worthiness. But what you could not see then, and what you are meant to see now, is that life was not holding anything back from you. It was preparing you, not to give you something small, but to give you something meaningful, something that requires strength, wisdom, patience, and clarity to hold. The delay was not punishment, it was training. Shi Heng Yi often teaches that before the universe elevates a person, it strengthens them. Before it gives them responsibility, it sharpens their mind. Before it gives them influence, it humbles their spirit. Before it gives them opportunity, it teaches discipline. Growth always comes before reward, because without growth, you would not be able to sustain what you are asking for. The time you spent waiting was not empty time, it was forming your capacity. And now, the fact that this message has reached you in this exact moment means something very important. You are ready. Not perfect, not finished, but ready. Ready in a way you were not before. Ready to hold what you once would have dropped. Ready to carry what once would have overwhelmed you. Ready to receive what once would have confused you. And ready to walk into a chapter that requires the version of you that only difficulty could have shaped. Responsibility is not something small. It is not something everyone is prepared to handle. Responsibility demands consistency, clarity, emotional maturity, and inner steadiness. It demands that you grow beyond your impulses, beyond your fears, beyond your old habits. It demands that you act from wisdom, not reaction. It demands that you protect your energy, honor your boundaries, and move with intention. For a long time, you were not ready for this level of responsibility, and that is not a judgment on your past self. It is simply recognition that you were still learning, still transforming, still understanding who you truly are. Think back on the times you felt frustrated because something you wanted did not appear. You may have thought you were ready then, but the truth is that readiness is not measured by desire, it is measured by discipline. You may have wanted success, but were you disciplined enough to maintain it? You may have wanted a new chapter, but were you grounded enough to stay balanced inside it? You may have wanted love, but were your boundaries strong enough to protect your peace? You may have wanted new opportunities, but were you wise enough to choose the right ones? Life does not withhold blessings out of cruelty. It withholds blessings until responsibility can meet them. And now, through everything you have endured, you have been shaped into someone who can hold more. That shaping did not come through comfort. It came through experiences that forced you to grow. Experiences that made you reflect. Experiences that awakened your self-awareness. Experiences that strengthened your discipline. Experiences that brought you into alignment with your higher self. Your challenges were not random. They taught you exactly what you needed to learn. Your delays were not empty. They gave you time to develop the wisdom you lacked. Your disappointments were not failures. They were redirections that guided you toward your true path. Your heartbreaks were not endings. They were beginnings disguised as loss. Your frustrations were not signs of weakness. They were signs that your spirit was outgrowing its old environment. And now, you stand at the threshold of a new phase. A phase where life is not simply giving you something. It is trusting you with something. Something meaningful. Something with purpose. Something aligned with who you are becoming. The world often teaches people to chase rewards, to chase validation, status, recognition, or quick success. But real awakening reveals a deeper truth. The reward is never the goal. The goal is growth. Because growth makes you capable of holding what the reward brings. Without growth, reward becomes temporary. With growth, reward becomes sustainable. Shi Heng Yi's teachings remind us that the strongest trees grow the slowest. Their roots run deep. Their stability becomes unshakable, and their presence becomes a refuge for others. You have been growing like that tree. Quietly, deeply, slowly, but with purpose. What you built inside yourself cannot be taken away from you. Not by circumstances, not by people, not by fear. Your inner strength is real. Your inner wisdom is real. Your inner discipline is real. And because of that, you are now being prepared for a responsibility that matches your potential. Responsibility is a sign of trust. When life gives you responsibility, it is life saying, you can be trusted with more. You have matured beyond your old patterns. You have become someone who can guide rather than be guided by chaos. You have become someone who can make decisions rooted in truth, not fear. You have become someone who can receive without losing themselves. You are no longer impulsive in the way you once were. You are no longer easily influenced in the way you once were. You are no longer confused by the same distractions that once pulled you off your path. You are no longer controlled by emotions that once overwhelmed you. You are no longer living unconsciously. You are living intentionally. This shift is what prepares you for responsibility. This shift is what separates who you were from who you are becoming. You may not see all the changes clearly, but they are there. You speak more carefully. You think more deeply. You observe more calmly. You react less. You reflect more. You value your peace. You honor your growth. You listen to your intuition. You choose your environment with more wisdom. These are signs of inner mastery, and inner mastery is the foundation of responsibility. What is coming into your life will require maturity. It will require patience. It will require clarity. It will require discipline. And because you have been shaped by your journey, you are now capable of offering those qualities. You are not being elevated for no reason. You are being elevated because you transformed. You softened your heart, strengthened your mind, sharpened your awareness, and deepened your connection to your inner truth. This transformation makes you ready for what once felt out of reach. In the past, you may have thought you were being overlooked or forgotten. But now you can see more clearly. You were being prepared, not denied. You were being refined, not rejected. You were being strengthened, not ignored. Everything you went through has brought you to this exact moment, a moment where responsibility and readiness meet. You are stepping into a stage where your life will open in proportion to the depth of your character. You will receive not what you wish for, but what you are now prepared to carry. And because your preparation is finally complete, what is meant for you can finally enter your life without fear of being lost, wasted, or mishandled. This is what it means to be prepared for responsibility rather than merely chasing reward. It means becoming the version of yourself who can sustain what you receive. It means understanding that blessings are not just gifts. They are weight, they are purpose. They are energy that must be held with balance and wisdom. And now, through your growth, you have become capable of holding them.